Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today's video is going to be a nice hefty recap, so make sure you're prepared. About 2 weeks ago, Nexon released an event called Date a Joddy, and it was up to all of you to submit for a date. This sounded like a lot of fun, so I hopped on it as quick as I could. There were tons of great submissions, but of course there were only a couple winners, and here are the winners for Sugar, Cuddles, Deer, Curie, and me, which is kind of crazy because this looks like me in real life. So the date started out at Wingull's house, where she showed me this awesome portrait of Sans from Undertale. Unfortunately, all of her house slots were saved, so she wasn't able to save this, but luckily I got it before it was gone. Once we said goodbye to Sans, she showed me her awesome portrait of Wingull. I'm terrible with Pokemon, so I had to hop onto Google to see exactly what it was, and can I get a round of applause for how amazingly accurate this is? I mean, come on, look at it. At that point, I asked her if she can show me all the different house slots she has saved up. There were a lot of really cool ones, with my favorite being the one that was made of desserts and cakes. I decided to hop on top of her cake bed with my bed to double bed it up. Lastly was this beautiful floral castle, which was done from the side perspective. I've never built a house like this before, and once you come up here to the tree house, it's a completely different room. This was definitely one of the coolest ideas for a house that I've seen in a long time. And that's gonna bring us to musical chairs, so I guess I'll take this time to kind of explain to you guys how it works. Big shout out to Not Rye on Reddit, we wouldn't have been able to do it without you. So basically how it works is that you want at least 6 or 7 members to be able to start the game. I'd say this is a good amount of people because it won't make the game too long or too short. In our scenario here, we started with 7 people, so we ended up having 6 chairs. So how it works is that there's one person in the middle that's playing music. Everyone else that's participating is either running around the chairs or on top of the chairs that are placed. Whoever is the host or the owner of the house, make sure you have enough merit to be able to buy the interactive chairs. You could also do it with non-interactive chairs, but it'll make it a lot harder on whoever's judging for whoever got on the chair first. So once the music in the middle starts playing, everyone that's around the chairs starts running around or on top of the chairs, and once the music stops, everyone has to stop and find a chair. The last person that doesn't find a chair is then eliminated. The winner of this mini event received 20,000 Onyx, so congratulations to Peachy Sweet, you are the winner chicken dinner. And that's gonna move us on to Cathy Mart. Cathy Mart is another one that's been here ever since release, but I just haven't talked about it on the channel, so I guess this is a good time to do that. Cathy Mart is pretty much a 4-person dungeon or minigame type situation where you earn rewards at the end. Once you join into Cathy Mart, each person has to go into each corner, and from there it is randomized on who will be picking up the items and who will be delivering the items to the customers. If there's a customer that's asking for a specific item and then you accidentally give them a different item, it will give you an error noise and the customer will still want the item that they're looking for. I've never failed this personally, but I do believe if you fail enough times, then you can actually get kicked out of the dungeon. Don't worry though, your daily count for the dungeon will still be there. You have to complete it for that to actually be used up. Once you have completed all 3 trialing rounds of Cathy Mart, you will be rewarded with 5 event dungeon coins. You want to go ahead and take these coins into Queenstown, go to where I'm at right here so you can use them on the wheel. Depending on how your RNG is, you will be getting the item that you want or you don't want, of course. Shortly after rolling the wheel, Wingull and I ran into Bune at a concert. If you guys are ever wondering where I'm at in-game, 15 times out of 10, I'm going to be AFKing in Queenstown somewhere around this general area. Outside of doing my dailies, dungeons, and raids, this is likely where I'll be. Now is when we decided to take an adventure. We decided to crawl all the way from Queenstown over to the Serene Docks where Cuddles and Cherry Cake were having their date. We thought we were being sneaky, but Cherry Cake pointed us out pretty quickly.
Run.
I played it off like they didn't see me, and I hopped in for a photobomb. It worked. Since I struck such a nice pose, Cuddle went ahead and dropped this crazy GM buff that makes us really huge. He got more head than he got body. There was a certain point where we realized Cuddles and Cherry should probably have their time alone. At this point, we hopped onto a hill and started showing each other the different outfits that we have. I do have a good amount of new items that I haven't showed you guys, so maybe I'll make a video about that in the future. Up next, we headed back to my house where I showed her all of the different places that I used for the different events that we ran recently. The first one being the Valentine's Day podium that I used for the community post. The second being the awesome talent show that we ran inside of this sandy type of biome that I created. The third layout being the jump quest that I created that Haptic completed in an amazing 7 minutes and 30 seconds. And finally the Coliseum of Champs map that we used for the PvP tournament a couple months ago. And well, this is what came next. C-Dev is the first chaos raid that you can do in the game. It normally takes anywhere from 4 to 10 people to clear. I mean, look at him, he's so dang thick. We tried as best we could, but our journey was filled with quick deaths and broken promises. Although we didn't clear, we did achieve the goal of getting some pretty good pictures with CDev. After we got all the screenshots with CDev, I decided we should come back to my house. Since I had a couple of house lots saved up, we could build a fashion stage. I was inspired to do it by someone else, so I figured why not now? The hardest part about deciding what to build at a house, in my opinion, is always just getting that first idea out there. Once you have a general idea of what you want to build, how you want to build it, and what kind of blocks you want to use for it, it typically goes pretty quick. And by pretty quick, I would say anywhere from 2 to 10 hours on some projects, and in some cases even longer. Once everything was all finished up, we decided to do our own little mini fashion show. And of course, with it being my house, I had to open up the scene and go first. I had no problem with strutting down the runway and owning this thing. Easy, no problem. Right after me, we had Popular from the Kawaii Guild. This is a beautiful fashion show, so I had to come through with the beautiful cinematics.
Nice, look at her go. Ooh, and she posed the kiss.
Do you guys see me with these angles though? Up next, we had Cherry Cake, which was Cuddle's date.
She might be. Oh wait, so there she goes. She's just going crazy. Look at her, she's going crazy.
And dropping that sicko mode in the background, we have Mischief on the electric guitar. After the show was done, everyone grouped up on the runway and hung out as we wrapped up an awesome day. Popular did a lot of the extra work at the end, so thank you for that, and thank you everybody else that worked on the house. This was an awesome Valentine's Day. Thank you again so much, Wingull, for these beautiful portraits of myself. I had an awesome time and I hope you did too.
Hey, time flies when you're having fun. Woo!